70 days to the election. Have you made your decision yet? Or will a presidential debate help you in making that decision? That's one of the issues we are discussing here on Joy News Interactive. Welcome. My name is Benis Abu Bedu. Some of the other issues we'll be talking about is the disturbing news we're hearing about the suicide rate and alcohol intake in Ghana going very, very high, whereas malaria, tuberculosis are on the low. And we'll also talk about something interesting, Trotro sayings. What's the most interesting saying or write-up you've seen on a Trotro or a commercial vehicle, as we call it here in Ghana? Here's how to get interactive with us. Get onto Facebook. Our name is Joy News on TV. Same name will find us on Twitter and Instagram. Alternatively, you can send me a WhatsApp message on the number 0560 800,000, 0560 800 000. One of the topmost trends today is the debate between U.S. presidential candidates Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. In fact, the New York showdown could pass as the most watched debate in TV history with up to 100 million viewers. Now, we'll also be bringing you what people have been saying about this debate on Twitter, which is the first of three. But let's bring the conversation here in Ghana. Now, there have been a lot of calls for a debate between the topmost contenders in Ghana's election, but we haven't seen any yet. Have you already made your decision on who to vote for? And is a debate likely to help you make up or change your mind? Let's get onto Facebook and find out what some of you have been saying about that. Irasank Saeed Jabakte says, I have already decided who to vote for. I do not need a debate to make me decide. Some people naturally cannot articulate, but when given the mandate, they will deliver, and vice versa. For me, it's about your actions and inactions, okay? Yao Bonfa Philip says, a debate will do us, and he puts it in quotation marks, sorry, in brackets, floating voters a lot of good. Personally, I think it will be necessary, and I don't understand why an incumbent president would deny Ghanaians the opportunity to rate him. So for Yao Bonfa, a debate is a way to rate a president who's incumbent. Papa Abeka Wunchi says, in terms of percentage, only a few people, but majority vote on, and he thinks majority of the people vote on region, religion, tribe, family, etc. Till we change that, Ghana will still be the same under any government. I don't know where he's getting his statistics from, but that's his opinion. And Sana Mohammed says, a presidential debate cannot determine my fate because my love for Nana Addo is immeasurable, and he says he's for change. Jumo Yao says Democrats all the way, and he says hashtag Clinton for president, and JM for president. He says Democrats rock. Prince Nuruddin Baumia says, I listened to their debate, humble debate yesterday, but our country Ghana should be our main focus for now. Okay, no, for God knows, Billy says, for US, he will tip Hillary Clinton to win and tips Ghana to win come 7 December. Okay, Mama Pakujo says, I realize that people in America have been spending so much time arguing over so many different things that they let these two poor excuses, okay, for presidential candidates become their only choices. So there's been a lot of talk about that, that this probably may be the worst option for Americans to choose from in the history of their politics. Kweku Charles Nkrumah says, not necessarily, and he thinks that a debate may not necessarily help him decide on who to vote for, but it is important, and he gives his reasons. He says debates do not answer all sensitive and important questions, but a comprehensive and credible manifesto can do the trick. Muiz Menez Iceberg says, well, he thinks that Clinton is the best for American people. Neil Amte says, what politicians mostly tell us are lies. And Gandhi Ganiu says, no need for debate. He thinks that Nana will win and Mahama should go away. KD Wonder says, yes, it will help a lot to sift the truth from the lies. And so KD Wonder would go for a debate. But for you at home, what would you do with a debate? Do you have your decision made? Have you made up your mind? Or a decision will help you, a debate will help you either change your mind or even make up your mind. Well, send me your messages here on WhatsApp on the number 0560 800,000, and we'll move on away from this issue. We'll come back to it because I know that many of you would have a lot to say about it. But many thanks for staying with me on Joy News Interactive, and let's talk about a presidential debate, possibly in Ghana, and whether or not it would help you shape your decision or change it or make an entire new one. Let's get on to WhatsApp. And this one says, look at your situation now and vote, not on a debate. This is Orabedu at the Sebra Pharmacy in Konongo. Thanks for your message. And this one says, I've decided who to vote for, and he thinks because Ghana is in trouble, I'm sure for you, a debate is it's not anything that would change your mind. This one says, JM will still get my vote without a debate. I can see the developments going on and I need no debate for me to decide. My mind is made up already. Kwao in Aflau, thanks for your message. Yusuf in Tamale says, I've made up my mind already for Nana come December 7 because of one this, one that policy. Okay, all right, okay, so that's what you're making your decision on. This one says, I've already made up my mind and that's fine now. Nothing at all can compel me to change my decision. And you say hashtag change is coming. Morris Opari in Sunyani. And this says, yes, you think Mahama is running away from Nana on a debate. They must meet for a debate before I vote. This is Anani at Mauli Estate in Ho. So for you, a debate is crucial in your decision-making process. Presidential debates are very critical to our decision-making process, and you're saying it's always important we get to know the feasibility and of the promises and policies. This is from Yakubu Ibn Chambers in Wale Wale. Okay, this one says, I vote on performance. It's from Joe in Takrady. So for you, a debate is a non-starter. And this one says, Clinton is already the first U.S. president who's a female. Okay, that's what you think. And you are asking when President Mahama and Nana Akufo-Addo will have their debate. Okay, people are now running from Ghana debate. Idris Mbanya in Tamale. So we went onto the streets to find out from some people whether or not they've made their decisions and whether a presidential debate could help shape it up.
Personally, no. Well, I don't take personal interest in Ghanaian politics because I think they don't have anything better to offer me as a student and as a citizen of Ghana. Because looking at past politicians who have gone left power and stuff, when they were campaigning, they made promises and stuff, and all the promises they made, I've not even seen them fulfill even up to 50% of the promises they made. So I don't see the reason why I should take another personal interest in Ghanaian politics. So me personally, I'm just a neutral citizen. I'm just good to go with the flow. Whatever is going on in Ghana, I'm just cool. You know, like, before every election happens, there's this debate, and when they come to sit to debate, it's just the same old thing they say. We don't see anything. So me personally, I don't know the views of other people though, but me personally, I'm not taking interest in either of their debates or anything. Like I said, I'm just a neutral citizen, so I move with the flow.
Yes, I have. This presidential debate is not actually going to change my perception or my mind as to whom to vote for, because looking at the policies, I have already decided on whom to vote for, depending on the policies that I have come across, or what I am aware of. Looking at the manifesto and whatever it is contained in it, I have already decided up my mind as to whom to vote for. And so this presidential debate it's not a platform that I would want to actually look on to change my mind as to whom to vote for.
Yes, I have. Looking at the debate, it doesn't really change my opinion on where I should vote for, because the person I decide to vote for provides all the policy that I agree on, that agrees to my basic needs. So yeah, I won't change the person I want to vote for. Okay, when it happens like that, since you're all looking at what will benefit us in the near future, of course I'll go for the one with the good policy, so that it will also benefit and the future generations also benefit. But if I become static on the person to vote for, and the person's policy are being surpassed upon, of course I'll go for the one whose own is good.
Yeah, actually I've made up my mind to vote for a candidate. The presidential debate actually doesn't change my opinion on whom to vote for, because I don't see the need for presidential debate when they give their promises and they don't deliver. So for me, I don't think it's a basis for someone to change his or her opinion on whom to vote for.
No, I don't think so, because I don't feel like voting this year.
You just heard the views of some young people, and they were answering to the question whether or not they've made up their minds who to vote for this year, and whether a presidential debate will help them, would change their mind or help them make a decision if they haven't made any at all. Let's move away from this issue and talk about some rather disturbing news. Now, according to a report by Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, Ghana's rates for malaria, HIV cases and tuberculosis have dropped. Now, that's good news. But in the same period, there's been an increase in suicide cases and alcohol intake. And many of you have been telling us what you think could be the reasons for the increase in the suicide cases and alcohol intake. On Facebook, Sana Mohammed says there's increase in suicide simply because he thinks the youth cannot find jobs for themselves, and he thinks unemployment and the persistent request and expectations from their families, he thinks they see themselves as failures, thereby they commit suicides. And we've had a lot of issues. We know that some time past, a student at the University of Cape Coast hanged himself over some results. Neil Amte says, let's ask why only suicide and alcohol? Because the cost of living in Ghana is high. Our leaders have failed us, and now it has turned to promises. And he says, I'm a Ghana. Is this Amagana, says God save us. KD Wonder says, unless alcohol is banned, we aren't safe. As for AIDS, we'll talk about it later, because we can't stop people having sex indiscriminately. And he laughs at his own comment. No, but God knows, Billy says, I am worried about the suicide issue because I don't know how we can curb it before you realize the person has already hanged himself up there. But as for alcohol intake, we can do something about it. Even nowadays, some pastors cannot preach without alcohol. That's what he says. Well, I don't know if he knows any pastor who does that. But he says the FDA must strengthen and enforce laws on alcohol. We as individuals must take the negative impact alcohol has on our body seriously and stay away from it. And says in Ghana, we perceive alcohol as, in quote, a relief substance. If we drink, it helps us to forget our problems. And he thinks that's not true. We must visit our psychologist anytime we face problems that are too much for us, and do well to stay away from alcohol, okay? Jafaro Amidu Kenyatta says, suicide cannot be the best option to run away from problems when you're overwhelmed by them. And he says, God save us. Makante Matthew says, why suicide and alcohol? This means the economy is really hard and people cannot make ends meet. Okay, so for many people, people commit suicide because of economic hardships. Prince Nuruddin Baumia says, psychiatrists should help educate the public. All right, there you have it. Some comments here on people's reasons why they think that the suicide rates in Ghana have increased. Now, this is some bad news, but let's move away to a lighter issue. One reason I love Ghana is there are a lot of things you can use to release stress or even learn from a lot of things without paying a dime. Trotro or commercial vehicle sayings, some of them are really hilarious, not because it's meant to be funny, but because sometimes the grammatical errors, sometimes you can't think far about them. But take a look at this video. That's our first one on some sayings on commercial vehicles in Ghana before we come and take some of your most memorable write-ups on commercial vehicles in Ghana.
Cool and collected, lover boy. next time you see a vehicle with an interesting inscription, you might want to get close to the driver to find the meaning. Wanda Hagan, Joy News, Accra.
That's an excerpt from a report my colleague Wanda Hagan put together about some of the interesting sayings written on commercial vehicles in Ghana. Let's get on to Facebook, and you can see a photo there that says Fallacy for, and well, in English it actually means Pharisee, and we know what the Pharisees, are usually noted for. But let's pick some of your comments about these inscriptions. Ahmed Hadidini says he's seen one that says Ghana is hot now, and he nearly stopped the driver to ask him what it meant, but he paused a moment and looked around himself and then asked the question, how much is pure water, also known as sachet water, in Ghana? And well, so he thinks that that inscription actually got him thinking about the state in Ghana. KD Wonder says, they remind me where I'm from, like who born dog, they will not kill me today. Everything is vanity and too much ado, and he laughs about that. Sana Mohammed says the one he's seen is respect the police, and he's laughing at his own comments. I can imagine how a police will feel stopping such a car that says respect the police. Prince Dorothy Baumia says who knows tomorrow, and Burma Kofi Fearless says who born dog. Neil Lamte says one fisherman, one sea on a trotro bus. Well, I haven't seen any, but it's very possible. And Gandhi Ganiwu says, Inshallah, that's by the grace of God. And Gandhi Ganiwu again comes again and says, if you don't work, you will eat, but you won't drive V8. That's very interesting. If you don't work, you will eat, but you won't drive a V8. Well, that's one way to, bring you on the lighter side for today. But before I go, well, I don't know if anybody knows of a Joseph and Mary in Genesis, but please, I don't know. If you know that verse, just, send it to me of Joseph and Mary in Genesis, and I'll do well to check it. I'm open to learning, But let's get some of your comments on all the issues we'll be discussing here on Joy News Interactive. Somebody thinks we have this issue of the high rates of suicide and alcohol intake because the economy is not favoring Ghanaians. And all right, this is from Daniel in University of Education, Winneba. Thank you. This one says, I've made up my mind who to vote for. Presidential candidates are good in talking, and Nanado speaks impeccable English and can dance around questions. President Mahama is a communicator and can get away with hard questions. Now he says, I'm voting according to, for, by, on, at, depending circumstances. I don't get it, but well, Mystic in Spintex Road, thanks for your comments. And this one says that God is alive. I don't know. Papaka in Dallas is sending us that. I don't know which of the issues you're commenting on. This one says, I'll vote based on the economy. This is by BDT, and so for him, it's not about a debate. And this one says, people must know that alcohol cannot solve your problems, and you're trying to encourage people not to get onto alcohol intake or consume a lot of alcohol because they are burdened with problems. Now this one says alcohol adverts top TV adverts in Ghana, so why should we complain now of its consumption? And this is Idrisu in Tamale. This one is talking about that video. This one says, the man is not. This is from Jan Chris. But maybe you're at home, you may have come across that scripture. I don't know. But if you know about any Joseph Mary story in Genesis, like Bishop Obinim says, just let me know about it, and I'll be very glad to go and read it myself. Let's get onto Facebook, pick up a few of your comments, and then we'll wrap it up here on Joy News Interactive. So, well, we've already had 3,500 views of that video you just saw about a bishop. He calls himself Bishop Dr. Daniel Obinim. Right, so Noah Pagodo's Billy says, though I don't accept some of the things that this gentleman says, you must bear in mind that he's also a human being. Well, you think he made a mistake. You strongly believe it was a slip of tongue. Let's stop Well, you think we are mocking. We're not mocking. We're just asking. Peter Archie sighs and says, if you heard and you want to use it to think and you allow somebody to think for you, these guys will always spend your money. Well, and he says he doesn't even know what he's doing. Daniel Adumanku Befi says, it's obviously a slip of tongue. No big deal about this. And Buggies in Toje says, that man needs help. It's very funny and doesn't know where he is coming from. Well, that'll be it for Journeys Interactive. Thank you so much for your company. My name is Benes Abubedu. Please don't forget the conversation continues on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are Joy News on TV. Alternatively, you can send us a WhatsApp message, a video, a photo, anything you'd like us to see on the WhatsApp number 0560 800,000. Do enjoy the rest of your day.